is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by two former Dallas Cowboys players, Barry Church and Danny McCray. We get their thoughts and views on the NFL from a player's perspective. All right, gentlemen, I see one of your former teammates got fired today in the National Football League. That would be former Dallas Cowboys lineman and offensive line coach, Marc Colombo. So, gentlemen, my first thought when I saw this report from ESPN, they said he got into a verbal altercation with the head coach, Joe Judge, because Joe Judge decided he was going to bring in a consultant, and Colombo didn't take too kindly to it, like, hey, man, this guy's over here, stepping on my territory. And I immediately thought of that old Dave Chappelle skit that I absolutely love, when keeping it real goes wrong.
Man, I tell you what, man. Hey, Joe Judge better been bobbing and weaving out there, because look, Colombo's a big dude, man. He about 6'8", 280 something. So hopefully Joe Judge was out there bobbing and weaving. But for real, man, how much lack of respect do you gotta have for your head coach? I mean, look, this is the guy that hired you. He's putting food on your plate. He's cutting your checks, and you said, "Damn, all that. Let me go ahead and serve you up a couple of these knuckle sandwiches, man." Like this is beyond me. So Colombo, I've never seen anything like this. But I mean, Colombo, he was always a fiery guy. Even when we played with him here with the Cowboys for that short period of time before he left, he was always fiery. He was always getting after the scout team. So for me, man, this isn't a surprise, but man, it is hilarious.
So are you saying Colombo put his hands on Joe Judge? Was it verbal or was it physical?
Oh, we can't hear McCray.
Was it verbal or was it?
Gosh.
Was it verbal or was it physical?
That's the internet, man. That's the internet.
Boo. Boo.
Oh, that's y'all stuff, bro. I can hear y'all.
Boo this man. Oh, my goodness.
Well, so we could go ahead and run down LSU this.
He says, was it verbal or physical?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, he's back. Oh, he's back now.
I knew that would get it. I knew the ears would work if I brought up some LSU. Excellent.
First of all, I knew some hate was coming. I just want to know, was it verbal or physical? Did Colombo put hands on Joe Judge, or was it just a verbal altercation?
I'm saying he put hands on him. I don't know that for facts, but I'm saying he put hands on him.
Goodness. Okay, listen. Yeah, hey, that's something serious right there. But if you get fired over just a little verbal thing, it must have been some real verbal assault for you to go fire the guy, I guess over him being mad because you brought somebody in to consult the way that the O-line is playing. I mean, you should expect that he was going to have some feelings about it, and you should be man enough to put up with what he has to say and then say, all right, now let's put this behind us and go out there and go to work. So it had to be something that was really outrageous that Colombo was saying or doing to Judge to get him fired, especially with JG up there having his back. It had to be something that was really, really out of hand.
Now,
hey, the streets is saying JG put him on it. They say, hey, look, hey, Colombo, go ahead and handle this work for me real quick. Colombo did the
Oh, man.
think he set him up. Hey, man, you should go talk to him. You should go talk to him, man. He's trying to bring somebody in here to run your thing. You ought to look out, man. I'd say something if I were you. It's like you guys weren't here for that time that T.O. got Roy Williams and Patrick Creighton and them to go down there and tell Jason they didn't like how he was running the offense. and next thing you know, they all got wrecked trying to buy this thing from T.O. about going and complaining about the offense. But no, so as far as the verbal, physical, I'm not sure. So I'm not going to sit up and tell you that I know for sure. I think we all understand and know that the truth will start to come out a little bit here later on. But look, I just found it absolutely funny. And then when I looked at the background of the guy, the consultant that they were going to bring in, he had a relationship with Joe Judge, dating back into their days with the Patriots. And when Jason was hired, Jason brought Colombo with him. So for me, it's not a surprise that a head coach is going to bring in someone he knows. You guys know this better than me because you're players. This is an industry where guys hire their friends and like to bring in their friends. And when the situations get a little bit tight or they get uncomfortable, they rely on their friends to try and help them out. Or even if he was bringing that guy in there to be a sounding board to let him know what was going on with Colombo, I mean, this is the way that the league works.
I mean, I can understand why Colombo was so salty. I mean, coming from a player's perspective, that's like, you're playing good at a position, and they go draft a guy in the first round. He's right behind you. He's your backup. And as the weeks go on, he starts getting more and more reps with the ones here and there. He starts backing you up in the walkthroughs. They're telling him, hey, just stand right behind that guy back there and learn from one of the best. And then what happens next? That guy ends up stealing your job. So I can understand why Colombo was mad, but I mean, to get to the verbal altercations or the haymakers being thrown, I mean,
listen,
you can't draw this up.
I'm waiting for Anonymous to come out, man, because I know there's more to it than just a consultant coming in, bro. I imagine it going something like this. Colombo woke up one morning. He had no idea that this consultant was coming in. The dude was sitting in his chair in the meeting room with the pointer like, hey, hey. This is what I think you're doing wrong. And then Colombo went to go talk to Judge, and it didn't go as Judge expected because he forgot to let Colombo know that he was hiring this guy. So it's more to it. We're going to get it. Anonymous going to lace us up. I'm sure they're going to let us know.
And McCray, as we both know, man, special teams coaches, they're one of the most fiery guys on the whole team. Like, as a special team, every coach we've had, I mean, Pasacci, DeCamillis, they were always that just fiery, just, put their heart on their sleeve. They'll tell you no matter who you are, they'll tell you how they really feel. So I can see how that could go down that way.
When keeping it real goes wrong. When keeping it real goes wrong.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Mark went to work for a regular day and found out that there was Dave sitting right there. The head coach didn't tell him. Dave was his boy, and he was going to watch over him. And Mark said, no.
I can listen. I vibe with Colombo. Look, hey man, if you felt disrespected and you know what I'm saying, and that's how you gonna handle it. You say, man, forget this job. I'm gonna go in here and tell this dude how I feel. Hey, do what you got to do, man. Colombo got enough bread to go sit at home for a little bit. JG gonna take care of him when he take over that head coaching job.
The more important question: who do y'all think won? Who do y'all think ended up walking out there with the victory? Who got the better of you in this situation?
This dude want to see a fight.
Ain't nobody else. Okay, so since y'all don't want to answer, I'm gonna go ahead and say Colombo gave him the 2-piece with a biscuit, and I don't think it went far because Colombo's kind of heavy-handed. He's a big dude, so I'm gonna say Colombo gave him the biscuit, gave him the work, and then Judge fired him on the spot just like that.
Colombo lost a lot of weight, man. He lost a lot of weight, Church. I don't know, man. And
this is true.
I'm going against Nostradamus. So anything that you say, I'm gonna say it was opposite. So I got to say that Judge had the low leverage. The low man wins, bro.
He started working on them knees, man. He started working on those knees, and it was over after that.
Easy, low man wins, and he fired the guy, so he got a double whammy.
Ooh, yeah. That's what I do wonder: was this a one-on-one, thing, or was it done in a group setting? That we'll find out a lot more, but that's going to be real interesting to see how it goes.
I think it was. It had to be a group setting. Somebody had to hype him up. Somebody was like, you know what? This ain't right, Colombo. You got to go out there and you got to let this guy know how you feel. Because I don't think on your own, you're just going to be like, man, you know what? Let me go ahead and holler at this coach. I got to get something off my chest. So somebody had to hype him up. I'm not saying it was
Church,
JG, but who knows?
Church, it sounds like you got some inside information over there. All right, you brought the physical altercation in. Now you talking about, he went in. It sounds like you know a little bit more than you letting on. All right,
I'm just trying to put the facts together, and in the streets they tell me some things, man.
Oh, okay, the streets. I'm
just putting facts together. That's it.
Church, no, listen, and then Nui, 2 weeks from now he gonna be talking about Nostradamus. He was able to see it with his powers, but really we know that he came from some inside source. Come on.
Right.
It's all good, man.
Barry, if you watch the Boondocks cartoon,
Always.
okay, so remember the episode when Tom and Sarah met Usher, and then Usher sits down at the table, and next thing you know, he's singing Sarah Smile, and then the waiter looks at Tom, he's like, wouldn't happen to me. That's what happened. Somebody went to Columbo like what happened to me? Walked on off, man. Then Columbo went up in there. Hey, Joe Judge, I'm not about this, man. What's up with this, man? You and your buddies, y'all think y'all taking over for me? You know who I am? And then he bowed up on him. Yeah, that's probably what happened, man. Yeah, man.
Somebody walked by like, I don't know.
I hope Columbo land on his feet, man. We over laughing at this, man. He got fired. I hope he land on his feet, bro. You know, that's a tough thing to do. You know, we just shooting it a little bit, but hey, that's a tough thing.
Like you said, JG will look out for him. You know, he'll get him right.
We'll see. We shall see. Hate to see it happen. Hate to see it happen so close to the holidays, but hey, it is what it is. We're all grown men.
It don't sound like you mad at all, Nui. It don't sound like you mad at all. You actually sound a little happy. You sound a smile. I see a little grin on your face on the screen.
Whoa! Hey, man, if this man did what he wanted to do because he's a grown man, go right on ahead. Like I said, if you felt like that's what you want to do, then go ahead. You know. Hate to see it happen, but, you know, it is what it is. The Giants are playing good football. They'll move on without him. Who knows, man? Maybe the Giants even win this division. Maybe it galvanizes the football team.
Oh, heck no. I know you ain't just say that, man. I know you ain't just say the Giants might win a division after you was poo-pooing on the Cowboys. I can't believe that you just said that,
It's wide open. The Giants have played improved football. If you start to look at what they've done the last 3 weeks, they have played some improved football. And
did you just say the NFC East is wide open? Did you just say the NFC East is wide
open? Wide open.
It is wide open, Church. It is wide open.
So y'all try to act like I was crazy a couple weeks ago when y'all was saying the same thing about the NFC East being wide open. We got a chance.
No,
man.
No, Church. When we say wide open, we mean people's records. Anybody could win it based on their record. We're not talking about the Cowboys going out and making this run and winning. We all have the Cowboys not making the playoffs. Well, not we all.
Right, I was just making sure.
You solo.
I'm making sure.
You solo, bro. Right. You solo. You on your own.
I was just making sure. All right, we all on the same page now.
You are the lone wolf. Yes, you are the lone wolf. Okay, let's take our first break. When we come back, my friend Jacques Taylor of the Dallas Morning News put a column out today. It says that Jaylon Smith has to show some serious improvement over these final 7 ball games, or he believes Jaylon will either have to take a pay cut or be cut. Let's dive into this because I think that there's some merits to what he said and there's some questions about it. Let's dive into it next on the Players Lounge with Barry Church, Danny McCray. I'm Nui Scruggs. You are checking us out on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and cream soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass of ice.
Music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and cream soda.
A delicious duet.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Unified welterweight world champion Errol the Truth Spence Jr. will duel two-time division world champion Danny Swift Garcia in a blockbuster main event on Saturday, December 5th at AT&T Stadium. Get your tickets now before they sell out at SeatGeek.com. You're checking out the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. We're in our SWBC Mortgage Virtual Home Studios. I'm Newey Scruggs. Covered the Cowboys for a long time, and I've got two former Dallas Cowboys players, Barry Church and Danny McCray, and we always chop it up and get their unique perspective of these football matters involving the Dallas Cowboys and across the National Football League. So, Jock Taylor wrote a column for the Dallas Morning News, and it centered on linebacker Jaylon Smith, where he talks about Jaylon has had a very disappointing season, and basically that Jaylon has got to show the Cowboys something in these final 7 games, or they could either ask him to take a pay cut in 2021 or even cut him, and that his guaranteed money is basically already been paid. Now, I also checked out ProFootballFocus.com, and they did a little story talking about disappointing players for every NFL team. And when it got to the Cowboys, this is what they said. I'm going to read from it. It says, Jaylon Smith and Leighton Vander Esch looked like a pair of future stars at linebacker for the Cowboys back in 2018. They ranked 5th and 6th, respectively, in Pro Football Focus grade at the position that season. Vander Esch's injury and a dip in play from Smith in 2019 dampened some of that optimism, but there was still reason to be excited about the duo, with Vander Esch returning healthy in 2020. Neither has looked all that reminiscent of the players that we saw 2 years ago, though. Smith has earned a 53.4 grade, and Vander Esch comes in a tad higher at 55.3 in another injury-shortened season thus far. Their disappointing play is a part of the reason that the Cowboys' defense has underperformed this year. Gentlemen, do you think that's fair from Pro Football Focus, and do you think Jock Taylor is on to something when he says that Jaylon Smith could be cut by the Cowboys or ask for a reduced salary? I'll start with you, McCray.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this earlier. They're going to be asking a lot of guys to take some pay cuts or get released just because the salary cap might get a little lower, and, we're looking on ways that we can get Dak paid. I think he's absolutely spot on correct with, those two are a reason for the defense not playing as well as we expected them to play. But with that being said, everybody that's on our defensive roster is a reason for us not being as good as we thought we were. A lot of the guys that are making a lot of money aren't playing up to their standard, and our defensive backs aren't playing up to standard either. That's why I keep leaning on coaching, because it's got to be something going on for all of these guys at every level of our defense to somehow not be prepared and not be ready to play to the best of their ability. So I'm putting it a little bit on them, but more on coaching. But yeah, they should be asking him to take a major pay cut next season.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I agree with Jacques and Danny on this one. I mean, look, the numbers don't lie. I mean, his play has dipped ever since that 2018 season when he was just out there making splash play after splash play and just, basically taking over this defense from Sean Lee. So for me, on the dip in play and the fact that his guarantee, if that is correct, that his guaranteed money is already up with this contract, I say you can give him that option. You got to tell him, like, hey, either you're going to take this pay cut or, you find yourself as a free agent. And that's why these last, 6 games are so important, because like McCray said, a lot of these cats, not just Jaylon Smith, but a lot of these cats, they're going out there and they're playing for their jobs. I mean, these last couple of games, not only for the NFC East, but like I said, for their jobs in the future. So for me, I think Jacques is right. I think Danny's right on this one. They should be able to ask him for a pay cut if he doesn't improve his play in these last couple of games.
So let me go back to something I mentioned earlier this week on the Players Lounge. And this comes back to the whole scheme thing. You've got Leighton Vander Esch. When we saw Leighton at his best making the Pro Bowl, he was playing outside linebacker. Mike Nolan comes in and makes him a middle linebacker. A middle linebacker coming off a neck injury. And then you take Jaylon and you take him from the middle and you put him on the outside. So have the coaches got this even right in putting the guys in their best positions, in your opinion? We're correct.
Listen, I think if the scheme and the players played the way that Nolan's seen it on paper and the way that he probably saw it in the past, I think this wouldn't be an issue. When you have the defensive line not playing up to standard and you got offensive linemen coming off and always being on Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, then it makes it hard for them to do their job. So scheme-wise, I think that if it was run perfectly, they will be able to make some of the plays that they made in the past, and they would probably be Pro Bowl players. But when you're not performing up front, it hinders them. So when they're not even playing up to their 100% level, it makes it look even worse. So scheme-wise, I think they can, we get a new guy in here, they can salvage their careers and play a little bit better. But, just the way the defense has played this season, I can see why they're having these issues.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And for me, so we're saying that, so Van Der Esch moved from Mike to Will, or from Will to Mike, correct?
Will.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I mean, I can see that move. I can see, a DC making that move because for the Mike, you got to be a bigger body guy. You're taking on more blocks than you are as an outside, like as a Will linebacker. So for me, I can see putting a bigger body Van Der Esch in there. He's right now he's injury prone. I mean, we've seen in 19 he went down with an injury. This year he had the collarbone neck thing, and as a middle linebacker, I mean, you're taking on blocks pretty much every single down. So it's just for him, it's a question of durability. I would have kept him in at that Mike position just because of he's a bigger body, but with him, the question is durability. And with Jalen Smith, I believe that he's best suited as an outside linebacker. I think that's where he made the majority of his plays out there. And you're not asked to take on those fullbacks. You're not asked to take on those pulling guards and pulling tackles as much as a middle linebacker. So for me, I think they got the positions right. These two just got to play better.
Yeah, and with that being said, listen, I'll just go back to this. Jalen Smith should be rushing off the edge. He should be doing some things that maximizes his athletic ability to get back there, and wreak havoc on the quarterback and cause some confusion. Not just sit back there, and play the run and read gaps. He should be doing some stuff. Not Jamal Adams because he plays safety, but they should be doing some creative stuff like how they use Jamal Adams, blitzing off the edge, blitzing up the middle, putting your hand down sometimes. They should be using him all over the place.
I think this is a similar case to, real quick, I think this is a similar case to Byron Jones. All right, so when Byron Jones came in, they put him at safety. And Byron Jones was a smart guy, but as a rookie playing at safety, you have to make checks here, you have to make checks there, you have to be cognizant of the whole defense as a whole. And I think he struggled with that. But when they moved him to corner, they said, look, specifically, you do this. You guard that man or you are in cover 3. And he flourished at that. And I think we need to do the same type of thing with Jalen, like Danny was saying earlier. Put him in a position to where he doesn't have to think too much. He doesn't have to make checks or get people lined up in the right gaps. Or if somebody else messes up, he has to cover up for that person. I think you got to put him in a specific job and say either, hey, you rush the passer or you cover this guy or you drop back in this position. I don't think he needs to be the quarterback of the defense. I think that's just slowing them down a little bit.
Okay, so here's my next question, just listening to you guys. Would it be best to put both guys on the outside and then either draft or in free agency go sign someone else and put them in the middle?
But then somebody would have to play the middle when you went to nickel package. Like somebody would have to be that middle linebacker anyways. Yeah,
what you don't need on your team are 3 Pro Bowl base linebackers. That is not what you need on your team. Like a lot of teams are coming out here, they're running 11 personnel almost the entire game, some running empty. So a lot of times you see that third linebacker that's playing in the base, he probably gets 15 to 20 snaps a game. He doesn't even play the whole game. So I don't think you need to invest in another guy just to put in the middle if you're still going to have Jalen and Van Der Esch playing on the outside.
Do y'all feel as though this could be something that this could just be an off year for them? Do you think that they can bounce back from them? Or do you think they need a whole new system just to get these guys restarted?
This is their second off year.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true.
They haven't looked the same since they played against the Rams in the playoffs.
I would look to the next defensive coordinator and ask him. And that's what they should do in the interview process. Hey, here are 2 guys that turned in Pro Bowl years. Here are 2 guys that used to look like, hey, they were going to be, key players for our franchise defensively. Number 1, check out the tape. Can they get back to that, or do we need to make a move? That's what I would do as far as interviewing the new defensive coordinator for 2021. And then I'd also ask this simple question here, guys. Do we see the Jones family admitting a mistake with Jalen Smith and running him after this season? They rarely pull the plug on guys like that, That's just kind of going and looking at the history. They give guys deals. They rarely pull the plug this early. So, anyway, McCray?
Now, listen, from personal experience, now they'll ask you to take a pay cut, all right? So, it's not necessarily them, saying, we're going to release you, but they'll ask you to take a pay cut and give you that option, to leave on your own and then say, hey, we gave him the option. We really loved him, but it was best for him to go in his own direction. It was his choice. But that pay cut thing is always on the table for the Joneses.
So stay with this, Danny. So when they come to you for the pay cut, do they call your agent first? Do they call you? Do they bring you into a room? Is it over the phone? I mean, take me through how this works.
Man, listen, I don't know how it happens for everybody else, but I know for me it was one of those things where I went off to Chicago the next year because I felt so plagued by it. I had pulled my hamstring in the last preseason game, so I wasn't going to be able to play the first game. And I was on the tender. And right after the last preseason game, they called me in the office, and my agent called me like 5 minutes before that. He's like, I think they're about to ask you to take a pay cut. And I was like, all right. Well, I got 5 minutes. So they called me back in the office, and he broke it down to me. Hey, we're going to need you to blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, do I have a second to talk about it? Call my agent back, whatever. He was like, yeah, I can leave the room. And when I come back in, we'll need you to have the decision. I was like, all right. So I called a few people, and with me being hurt and having a hamstring injury, I pretty much had no choice but to take that. So that was my experience with it. I don't know how it is for the bigger players that had the bigger contracts that they may be worried about keeping a little bit more.
Who was he? Who was he? You said it was just one person. Who was the he?
His name's Adam. I don't know his last name, but his name's Adam. You might see him holding the chains. He's a bigger guy. He's on the sideline usually. You know his last name, Church?
Nah, I don't know. I just called him the money guy because I was the money man. He always would come to top contracts and stuff. So
okay, so it wasn't.
I didn't even know his name was Adam, to be honest.
No. Adam Pacific. No, it wasn't the Joneses. It was Adam.
Okay, so
I thought it was
take this.
It wasn't the Grim Reaper.
Nah, he wasn't none of them.
So now I'm finding this fascinating. So you take the pay cut. The next time you see the Joneses or a coach, what happens? How are you feeling? Anybody say anything? I mean, what happened after that?
Did they act like nothing ever happened?
Man, listen, all my coaches act like they had no idea what was going on. So I don't know. I was pissed off for the rest of the year, and I got up out of there right after that. So I took it personal, and I took it personal mainly because, like you said, I had been around those coaches for 3 or 4 years. I was like, bro, you couldn't even come pat me on the back, say what's up, hey man, I understand, but this is how we gonna get this fixed or nothing. They just act like it was no big deal. So I packed my stuff and got the hell up out of there.
Do you think the coaches would know? They would tell the coaches about a decision like that?
Well, it was in the paper after. It was in the paper after that. It was.
Oh, man.
It wasn't confidential. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So they would have known. Yeah. They would have known.
Yeah. No, they knew. They knew because also you had to tell the coaches, hey, look, we're going to ask McCray to take a cut, and if he doesn't, what's the next plan? So everybody, somebody was in on it. So definitely, somebody was in on it. Mickey Spagnola had a great line that he said many years ago when I used to have him on 105.3 The Fan. He said, guys will take a pay cut, but they won't take a pay cut for you. And this was about that time when Andre Gerard had to take the pay cut. Andre was like, nah, I ain't taking that pay cut. He took a pay cut, but he went to Baltimore. But so you're kind of one of those rarities, McCray, where you took the pay cut and stayed with the Cowboys. So most guys, they hear that pay cut, they're like, nah, man, I ain't going to do it here.
I had nowhere to go. I was injured. Believe me, I made the phone call. I won't get in trouble for it now. I made the phone call. The option was out there, but I was injured, so nobody could help me at that point.
I remember after that, your whole mood changed. You was like, I am strictly special teams. They was like, hey, come on, we need some reps that say. Danny like, nope, I am special teams. My day is over when this kickoff's done.
Listen. You know what? While we on it, let me go into it because I never got to get this off my chest. Church, if you remember, I was a special teams guy already. and then everybody started getting hurt. And then usually when that happens and they move somebody up to play safety, they usually take them off special teams and let them focus a little bit more on safety. They had me running down there on kickoff at the 5. I was playing gunner on the punt team, still on kickoff return, and then going out there and rah-rah defense, covering tight ends in certain packages, starting at safety. And when I told Jerome Henderson, I was like, hey, man, look, I'm gassed. And, this is going to affect my play. He was like, look, man, I just need you to get some rest during the week. There's nothing I can do about it. I was like, what? Are you serious? So that whole thing transpires or whatever. And then, I ended up, I played, however I played, I ended up losing the starting job. So I thought that was over. I was like, yes, I'm back on special teams. And, the next year came and they asked me to take that pay cut. So I was upset for 2 years, to be honest. That's why I had to get up out of there and get my mind right.
It's just to me it was baffling that they waited for so long. Like they waited right until the last, wasn't it like a day or two before the regular season?
It was the day of,
or something like that.
It was the day of final cuts. It was the day of final cuts. So I didn't have any option. It was like you got 30 minutes. It was like right before that deadline was there, and he made me sit in that room where I was upset, but I knew that they had put me in the hole. I had no choice.
So. Let me ask this, since you're here and you're opening up the can and we're talking, was there any part of you after you said you take the pay cut that you wished you went ahead and got released so you could have gone somewhere else?
Nah, man, money on the table is money on the table. And I always enjoyed the fact that I was in Dallas and I was close enough to my mom and my family that they could all drive up. Like everything was convenient for me in Dallas. So I didn't regret taking a pay cut. I just regretted how it happened, right? Because I had a feeling how I felt about the Cowboys and the organization before that. And then that whole process happened. And it was like, how I thought they felt about me, they actually didn't, especially because nobody actually came and said nothing after that. It was a shocking surprise, and I didn't hear nothing from pretty much anybody after that. But I will tell you this: when I was about to leave the next year though to go to Chicago, I got all the phone calls. Then, yeah, we really want you to do this, we really this and that. I was like, all right, yeah, well, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to O'Hare right now, buddy. I'll see y'all next time. Yeah, because y'all ain't had nothing to say to me before then.
Oh man.
So who called you at that point in time and was trying to make it right? Who was on the phone? Who called you?
Yeah, oh man, look at him. It was JG called me, Joe Baker called me. The one person that kept it real with me was Jerome Henderson. He was like, "Look, I know that you're gonna get some money out there in Chicago, so I want you to go out there and prove all of us wrong. I know what happened to you here was bad, so you know what I'm saying, I'm really not gonna try to convince you to stay." And I was like, "Appreciate it, bro." And then when I went to Chicago and I ended up getting a starting job there for a little bit, he was the first person to call me and congratulate me on that. So I got love for Jerome Henderson as well.
Jerome always did keep it real, man. He always did keep it real.
Ooh, all right, let's take a break, man. That's why we do this show, man. That is why we do this show. That is why we do this show, because that's pretty eye-opening. And look, I've gone through the whole pay cut thing too in my experience. Now it's nothing like yours, but I know how it feels when you step back in that building. You know, you ain't trying to smile at nobody. I ain't trying to say hi to anybody. Just go do what I do. So I understand. Okay. When we get back, something that I know is going to make Barry Church say, wow. We'll do that next right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Want to show your Texas and team pride too? You can. By purchasing your own Stetson, you can look just like how the flag guys do on field at every home game. Stetson hats, the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys, and your favorite football team.
Get yours today at shop.dallascowboys.com or at stetson.com.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Back to the Players Lounge.
We are back here in the Players Lounge. We are brought to you by Hotels.com. Hey, are you craving AT&T Stadium's famous Cowboys cheesesteak, nachos, or Cowboy Rita when you're watching the Cowboys at home? Well, guess what? Bring your favorite stadium fare to you. Place your order online for pickup at AT&T Stadium every week this season. Check out the menu at AT&TStadium.com/at-home. All right, gentlemen, the NBA draft is tonight, so good luck to all those young men as they fulfill lifelong dreams. It's going to be a little bit different because it's virtual, so you're not going to be able to see guys do what they've done in the past. And I love these NBA opt-outs because guys right now have a good bird in the hand if they want. And with the way the salary cap is, you can try and get out there free agency, but there's no telling what you may get. Barry, you'll love to understand the excruciating dilemma for one Gordon Hayward of the Boston Celtics. He has an opt-in. Okay. It is for $34 million. He's not sure what he wants to do. And they told him, you didn't have to decide Tuesday. They pushed it out to Thursday. So he's got one more day to decide if he wants a guaranteed $34 million to play for the Celtics. If he plays for the Celtics this year, he's going to be a role player. He's going to be a role player. So he's got this tough decision to decide. Does he want the bird in the hand of $34 million or does he want to go out on the free agent market? What would you do?
Man, what is the indecision here? What is Gordon Hayward thinking? Like, look, it ain't like Gordon Hayward is lighting up the stat sheet or anything like that. It ain't like he's a perennial all-star or anything like that since his gruesome injury. But what are you thinking? $34 million fully guaranteed as soon as you sign on the dotted line, and it's the easiest money you'll ever make because you're not even going to be a starter. You're going to be a guy coming off the bench, maybe playing 12 to 15 minutes a night, and you're making $34 million. There's no indecision about this. It's sign me up. I'll take his spot. We can switch spots. He can come on the Players Lounge. I'll go ahead and get the 20 jersey and play for Boston. I mean, this is ridiculous. Oh man.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off that for you, Newey. Church and Newey. Goodness, I thought Newey was gonna bring this up yesterday because he put it in our Twitter group chat. So James Harden gonna pass up 52 a year in Houston, so he can go to Brooklyn. What type of sense did that make?
These guys,
$52 million a year. This dude passing up.
Yeah, so he could have been the NBA's first $50 million a year player. Here was the thing I truly didn't get in this whole I want to go play for the Brooklyn Nets demand that James has right now. We all know there's no state taxes here living in Texas. You going up to New York to play? Guess what, brother? You about to jump up 14%. It's crazy. But I'll also, and one reason why I didn't bring it up, Danny, we've seen a bunch of these guys turn down more money because they don't want to be someplace. New Orleans had offered Anthony Davis the max. They offered him a great boatload of money, but he said, no, I don't want it. I'll go play for the Lakers. And so he just opted out, turned down the $27 million. And so he's about to sign a big mega deal with the Lakers. And he won a world championship. So it worked out for him. But this starts to become really, hey, how comfortable am I and how much money do I want to leave on the table to win? Now, to me, I look at Anthony Davis, and this is what I was told by my buddy Mark Spears of ESPN. That Anthony lived in L.A. in the offseason, and this is where he wanted to be anyway. So this was for him about getting to a spot, leaving New Orleans and getting to a spot where he wanted to be. And, oh, by the way, he'll play with LeBron James. I don't know if I'd be running to go play with Kyrie Irving. I wouldn't be doing that.
Well,
I would not be doing that, man.
Well, let's do this. So just I don't know how true this is, but I know I've been reading that one of the issues for James Harden and Russell Westbrook and a lot of other guys for the Rockets was some political issues for who Tillman Fertitta was supporting. So all those guys are kind of revolting and trying to get up out of there. And then James Harden, I don't know, man. How comfortable you can be, but I know the dude, $200 million from Adidas. So he might be all right passing up that 52 because he know he's going to make a boatload of money in the New York market as well.
50 mil though? I understand he's getting that bread. Like you said, he got Adidas. He got all those contracts. He went to Oklahoma City all those times. But 50 mil passing that up? And then you're going to go play with KD and Kyrie, who are two ball-dominant guys.
It's not for next year,
I don't think he'll be able to survive up there.
Let's say this: the 52 is not for next year. It's an extension, so he still has, I think, a year or two on his current deal, and then he'll make 52 after that. So I'm sure if he goes to Brooklyn, he's still gonna make a boatload of money. And they say New York is the marketing capital of the world, so he's gonna get some more deals, and the money will probably even out somehow. The only thing he's saving is those state taxes. But he's been close as he can in Houston. So go take you a shot and go try to get you a championship.
What do y'all think about this? Like, what do y'all think about all these guys like grouping up together? Like now it's KD, Kyrie, and maybe Kevin or Harden. Like, I mean, what y'all thought? What are y'all thoughts on that?
I like it.
I believe
these super teams?
Yes, I have no issues with it. Here's the thing: what you and your organization need to do is create a culture and a climate that people want to come to it. I mean, that's what you have to do. And I give Milwaukee a lot of credit. What have we seen this week? Milwaukee said, look, we're going to make this atmosphere great for Giannis, and we want him to stay. I remember, and you guys were young, but when I was growing up, man, that's what they did in San Francisco. Bill Walsh and Eddie DeBartolo Jr., they made the 49ers a place where guys wanted to come, and they were taking less money to go get there. And when Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys and he and Jimmy Johnson helped make it the team of the 90s, it was an atmosphere the dudes wanted to come to. That's how you get a Deion Sanders here, because they want to come play in this kind of atmosphere. So to me now, if you're running an NBA franchise where you have one player who can change the fortunes of the whole organization, you've got to make sure that you are trying to make that player happy, but also have a situation where other guys want to come play there, and hopefully you can get them to come and play for a little bit less cash. Pat Riley's been able to do that in Miami. Houston, and I want to make sure I give Houston credit. They've done everything they could, and they built that whole thing around James Harden. And something that you said, Danny, was Rick Bucher, who was on with my boys, the Odd Couple, Chris Broussard and Rob Parker, where that's where that report came from, that there were several Houston Rockets who weren't happy that Tillman Fertitta, in their opinion, was too close to Donald Trump and that they all wanted to go. Let me tell you what, I don't buy that, because these guys ultimately all want to make money. Okay? You consider, and most of these NFL owners are affiliated. You can just go look it up. You can find out who your owner is affiliated with from a political standpoint. All right? Tillman Fertitta was the only owner in professional sports giving money and supporting Donald Trump. But I thought
it's a difference. It's a difference between supporting the Republican Party and then being very close to Donald Trump. Just to be fair with what they're talking about, it's a huge difference.
Right, but at the same time, too, look, there's a lot of NFL owners who gave money to President Trump in his inauguration. There's a whole bunch of owners. I mean, you even saw Woody Johnson of the New York Jets go work for the Trump administration. But ultimately, I don't, and this is just me, Danny, I don't think, and I don't believe that this is what Houston Rockets players are motivated by, to say, get me out of here, or I don't want to be here because of that. These guys want their money, and they want to be in a situation that they like. I just don't believe that. I just believe, and I'm the dude who used to cover the Clippers when we knew all about Donald Sterling. Way before that Magic Johnson tape got out there, that V. Stiviano. I mean, that stuff was known about Donald Sterling, and dudes came out there. When Chris Paul was traded to L.A., he was asked about it. And Chris said, I don't get into all that. I just play. I was like, all right, dude, if you want to be blind and naive to it, that's fine. But these dudes just care about their situation, their money.
You think about this. We already explained that NBA and NBA players, NFL players are different as far as how much power they have and what they're willing to do.
True.
And to exactly what you said, these dudes want their money. James Harden is running from $52 million a year to get away from Houston. Russell Westbrook has money on his contract, and he's still trying to get up out of there. So they getting their money. They got money there from Houston, and they're trying to go the opposite way of it. I don't think this is the only reason that they saying we need to get up out of here. But when you start listing stuff on there, I'm sure that they could throw that. Some of them will throw it out there and say, yeah, also, X, Y, Z, and this, that. So this is why I want to leave. But I don't think it's the main reason. But where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm sure they heard something about it up there.
I don't think it's in the top 3, though. I really don't. I don't think it's in the top 3.
No. I don't think it's in the top 3. I give it top 5.
First off, it's me. Me is always the number one thing. When I look at these NBA guys and guys who are moving, everything revolves around me. What's best for me? And what have we seen from Russell Westbrook? Russell Westbrook realized, guess what? I need the ball. I like James. James is my boy, but I need the ball. He has the ball. I want to be gone. Kyrie Irving, you playing with LeBron James. LeBron James, you play with LeBron, you just walk into the finals. LeBron out here getting bums rings. And Kyrie like, nah, I need to be the man. I need my franchise. I don't care about him. I mean, these guys are built different. I mean, that's amazing. The fun thing about covering the two sports for me is NBA guys are just different dudes, man.
I don't want to hear nothing about Kyrie and his decision making. He was running around here telling people that the earth was flat a few months ago. So I don't want to hear nothing about Kyrie talking nothing about no decisions or none of that. Kyrie, you're right. Weird guy. The earth is flat.
I used to tell my boys in Boston, because when I used to do NBC Sports Radio, I'd bring the guys on from Boston, and I would always, they was like, man, why do you hate Kyrie, man? What did he do to you? And I used to tell them, I was like, you don't want this dude. This dude is different. And then sure enough, man, Kyrie up and got out of Boston. And they were like, you were right. I was like, I told you I was right. You thought I was just hating on him because he was a Dookie. Part of that was because he was a Dookie. But this dude ain't right. When you decide that you don't want to play at LeBron and you running down LeBron James, there's something wrong with you, man. There's just something wrong with you. He's just a different dude. And he gonna come out there, Steve Nash is a coach, and he like, well, we're all kind of the coach. I'm like, no, you ain't all kind of the coach. Steve Nash is the coach. And then he gonna sit up here and say, KD's the first guy I ever played with who I know can make that shot. I never played with a guy who could be that guy to make a shot. I mean, you didn't play with LeBron James, won a championship. I'm like, this dude is different. You should run from Kyrie. So if I'm the Nets, I make the James Harden deal, and I tell him, take Kyrie. Please take Kyrie before Kyrie blow up your franchise, man. Tomorrow.
Your list is getting long, man. Your list is getting long, man. It's Kyrie. It's Deion Sanders.
We added Columbo today.
No.
Columbo's on there.
Columbo's on there. I like Prime. Prime don't like me. That's what I told you on that. Prime is not. Prime doesn't like me. But Columbo, my thing with Columbo was, Columbo tried to keep other guys from talking. Okay, so if I go in the locker room, all right, I want to talk to Tyron Smith or Andre Gerard, and they'll, no, we can't talk. Well, why can't y'all talk? Columbo don't want us talking. I'm like, oh, why? Who marked Columbo? This dude ain't no Hall of Famer. He gonna sit around here and tell people they can and can't talk. I mean, who are you? You ain't nobody's daddy. You grown. Why you sitting telling people they can't talk? I mean, dude, I didn't get.
Joe Judge stopped the same thing, man. And y'all see what happened.
You should really be questioning the dudes who told you they can't talk. They can't talk because Columbo said so. You should be questioning those guys. Those are the ones who need to be questioned.
That is another conversation. The O-line, I guess, had some kind of fine system or something. But anyway, they were trying to do what the Broncos did back in the 90s, where their guys didn't talk. But, yeah, when Columbo was out there trying to do that kind of thing. And then this is my last thing on Columbo. So it was during the lockout. And guys were working over at Dragon Stadium in South Lake. And Columbo was there. So the media shows up to talk to guys. And Columbo goes over there telling the media, we're not talking. And it's, at this point in time, everybody knows this dude is getting cut. Like, why are you talking? First off, nobody's here to see you. Nobody here to talk to you, and you ain't gonna be here. Why are you telling somebody to say no? It was just, it is so, nobody talked. I'm like, you know, Witten didn't want to, nobody wanted to talk, because everybody was scared of what Mark Colombo was gonna say. Like, who made him representative? So, and then
they need some of that in the locker room right now. They need a Colombo in there right now.
That's true.
Okay, I didn't see no championships being won when Mark Colombo was here.
Anonymous. You ain't seen no championship being won in 20-some years. What are you talking about?
So, and this is how Jerry plays us in the media. So we show up for the press conference, the daily presser, and Jerry has Jerry's going to talk. Oh, okay, well, we need to show up because Jerry's going to be here. So before the presser starts with the coach, Jerry has a retirement thing for Colombo right there. So Jerry and I, Colombo retired as a Cowboy, and it was one of those things where had we known in the media that he was going to do that, we wouldn't have showed up. We would not have shown up for it. He's like, oh, Colombo retired at 1 o'clock.
I'm not playing with y'all, man.
No, since you didn't want to talk, we wasn't going to show up. Because they've done that before. All right, so they did that one time with the Texas Rangers had retired. They had a Hall of Fame presser for John Wetland. So he was going to Texas Rangers Hall of Fame. Now, John Wetland was notorious for he hated the media. He didn't like us. So his presser was at 1 o'clock. Nobody showed. It's like, nah, we ain't going. You ain't want to talk to nobody? Like, ain't nobody going to talk to you now. So it's like, nah, nope. But he did that. So Colombo was there. You know what? I didn't use any of it that night. It's like, I ain't putting none of this on. I ain't putting nothing Colombo retiring on. Like, I ain't using a single bit. This guy didn't want to talk to us. No. He didn't want to take care of the media. We ain't take care of you. So it was just like, he just vanished in the night. I ain't mentioned it. We just went on to the Cowboy business, man. And that was how Jerry got us, though. Because he knows we wouldn't have shown. He and Rich Dalrymple knows we would not have shown up had they told us it was going to be about him. So it happened. They go through the whole thing, and then we got on with the coach's press conference. So there you go. Right. Hey, Danny, I appreciate you sharing today, man. That was good stuff, man. That was good stuff.
Oh, yeah, I got you, bro. I got you.
That was good stuff. I get way. All right, we'll be back tomorrow.
Tell them to share some of the other stories, too.
No. It's a process, Barry.
Show's over. Show's over.
It's a process, Barry.
Show's
over time, we get all the stories. Tomorrow, 2:30, right here. Chris Beam, we appreciate you. We'll talk to you tomorrow, everybody.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!